This conference will now be recorded.
So yesterday we just look up like a small thing like what exactly that performer for palette and what exactly the talent and how the model is looks like and what about that like how many repositories. I mean only the overview we have gone through. Let's just begin with some database connections. As I said, like metadata, right? Here we can have all plenty of things here. Like if it is the file thing, like delimited and all, then you can create delimited metadata here. That is what we created yesterday. So at the same time, if you are going with the XML feed, Excel, JSON, and all this stuff we can create over here. So now we can go ahead with the creation of a database connection. So as of now I have this one MySQL has been installed in my system. So let's just check out DB connection, how to create a DB connection. So here you will once you just click on next, right? It will ask you for the database, which database you are going to connect. So you'll be having all the databases available, whatever the database you can green plum. Then here also you just give the port name, server details, username, schema, and all. Since we are using MySQL here, just give that. The connection established successfully. So after giving username, password, and then database, particular database name, then once you just check the connection, it will just notify you I mean the connection name, whatever we have given. Connection has been established successful. So okay, then finish. So once you establish connection, so that particular connection will be shown up here in the metadata. So again, so only the thing is you just connected that, but you haven't retrieved the schema of the tables. So since you in that situation like where we'll be having plenty of tables and all, right? So for each and every table we can't establish a connection like while designing the Talend job. So you can't just every time. So each and every component, whatever how many components you just drag drop here are the database components. You can't manually change the schema and all. I mean, you can, but it will be a hectic. Like every time you need to provide a column name, field name, then you have to give the data type of that particular field, and then you have to make sure that it should be correct data type. Otherwise, what will happen? We will catch up with plenty of errors and all. So in order to avoid that, what is the best thing is like we can put these things under one knee, like of one roof. That is where the metadata comes into picture. There you can create a connection and then you can give the database names and all. See in the normal flow, right? What will happen? You need to give the everything manually here. So database name you need to give Then tables, you need to give table name and everything. And again, you have to take control of this one. How many columns are there? All you need to provide. So you have to do it like the manual way. So the best thing is like this is how you will do normal flow. But when it comes to this one, right? What is the pretty thing like? You just drag it down, then the connection will be there. So the talent is pretty clear, like which kind of database you need to use, which kind of component is you can use over here. You just give within the bracket, right? TDB input, actually the generic component name. Under that you will be having all the components, like you can create a database, a different kind of databases you can connect here. So it just shows you like a T MySQL input by default. So if you just look into this, just have a look on this property type. So since it is we dragged it from the connection pool. So since and also this is uh, these details are provided under the repository. So that is why we got it like repository and then MySQL connection, that particular connection name, and then the host and everything, like it is get showed up here. So you no need to give any penny amount. Only the thing here is like you need to provide the schema and all. So again, I don't want to provide even the schema, so I just want to retrieve it from here. So what I need to do is right click on this, then just go to the retrieve. So as we like uh, this one shows up you the same thing, like the percentage is nothing but how we just take up the like character, like the table name. So what it will show up, all the columns, all the fields, all the tables it will retrieve by default if you keep percentage, or else you can give whatever, like if you want only the source kind of, you might be following a few uh, naming conversations in your database. Then what the best, like you can retrieve only those tables like src tables, or else if it is dimension tables, you can just you want to create a separate connection for the dimension pooling, then you can give only the dim percentage, so that only the dimension fields, dimension kind of tables will comes into picture. So all those things you can do over here by connecting, like giving a new name over here. So by default it is a percentage, so percentage is nothing but it will take up all the tables. So even you can import the views as well, schema of the views. So you just I don't want views and synonyms. So just since it doesn't have anything over here that I don't want less, I just go ahead with the tables. So just provided a percentage. So percentage is just the same meaning of how we just use like operator, like, and then percentage. This pattern matching function, like regular expression and all. It is uh, so if you just go to the next, so it will show up again. You can give filter condition over here if you want. See, so all these whatever that you want, you can just pick it up. And so I want to just note down all these things. So I want to take all this into picture consideration. So I just selected all these and then just go to the next. Again, is the first, like Here you have a chance to just check out the schema of each and every uh, object. So just see, if I click on this actor object, what will happen? It will show up all the database, all that particular object, that is tables of fields. See, if you just look into the file, first name and then last name and updated date and everything, is just scroll up, showed up here. So just the date pattern, because mostly we will come up like fed up with these issues like data type issues and all. When we, if you give manually, sometimes the data like the length whatever we provided, maybe we just uh, left empty, or else we have given a less amount of length over there when we define manually. So there is a much more chances when you do a manual intervention. So manually, when maybe that like if you are having 30 or 40 columns or fields in that particular table, what will happen? You just end up with giving only uh, 29. There are some cases where you need to. It do happen mostly with the our daily loads and like the staging tables, especially where the client will give you plenty of tables, plenty of columns with those tables. But out of that, only few, like at the time of mapping only, we just map only few fields. But while extracting, right, we do extract, we need to extract all the fields. But in future, we don't know what columns or what kind of fields they required for us for them to go with the new matrix. So here you just look into that, so everything will be showed up. So that is what. Okay, then you just connect to the finish. So what will happen? So connection get established. I mean, the schema of a table schemas has been taken up. See, suppose you want only that particular actor details. See, previously we doesn't have any kind of schema over there. So I just drag and drop my particular tables over there. So what will happen? So you just check into this. We'll be having this like what are the table schema? I just drag drop that has or written with the previous one. So just look into this, the schema. It's a repository. And again, if you go with the edit schema, previously we doesn't have any schema there, view schema, then what will happen? All the columns, whatever we defined over there, whatever there in that particular table is copied over here. Yeah, 1 second, guys. Just hold for me. Yeah, so I guess I'll be back. So here what will happen, like as I said, the connection, when we just after redriving the schema of that particular database, so all the table schema since we retrieve, so if you just look into that, all these fields come. So again, if you just drill down, so you will come up like all the fields are here. So that is what I mean. It is pretty straightforward. Like if you just want to take uh, something like if you want to write all these things, then you need to go with the inbuilt schema, built-in schema. Then if you want to go with like predefined, I mean you want to keep all them into one setup. Like even for writing, even writing DB field details and all, you might fed up with a lot of time you need to spend by writing single by single column details and all. It's better like you should either you just import the connection or a table schema. So it will be pretty straight. Oh, it will be always perfectly easy. And again, if you want to show up all the columns, you just give this not. So previously doesn't have. Now when you just click on this guest query, what Talend will do is it just form up like what are the fields it is having. So it will create equivalent SQL query with this all the fields whatever it has been available or has been put up there. So that is what it will do at the backend. So if you just check into that uh, data types and the lengths and everything, right? It was already there, so you no need to give anything. So out of that, say suppose out of these fields you want only one or two fields only. Say suppose you want only actor ID, first name, and then last name. You don't want the last updated date. You want only these first three fields. Then what you can do is like you just simply make it as a built-in. Even if you make it convert it into a built-in, since you already copied the schema, right? So there will be no change in the schema. It will be live for the forever until unless you just update these things in the repository point of view. Until unless it won't be get changed. So say suppose I just wanted to delete this. So want to keep only actor ID, first name, and then last name. The three fields I want to. Since again, if you just guess the schema, so you will get all these things. Or else you can even write your own query here. So query type also like since it is built-in only. And if you go with repository also by keeping that particular query in that repository. So it's not required. So since I mean we are given only three columns, so what happened is like uh, we'll be having only three columns is selected. If you just have a look on this, the properties. So if you just connect on the component, whatever the component you get dropped on that well on the designer, right? So every component, if you just click on that particular component, you can came up all these settings, basic, advanced, then dynamic and view is something like where you can just write comments, and also it will be shown up on the front end. The connection format, since it is a row by row, right? Row connectivity it is there, so that's what it is. So here you just write the functionality or what are the documentation and all you can write over here. See components. So if you yesterday showed you like if you want to use it with another connection, like the same, only you want to create a single connection, and I want and you would like to use across all the component, then you can use a T MySQL connection. There, whatever the connection, like the repository connections you have provided, you can provide that. But and if you want to retry the schema, I mean, if you want to use that, you can use that. But as the schema point of view, the table schema, even you can use a particular table or here or there, like DB connection. Even if you just scroll down here, here also you can just change it up to another. So once you change it, it has been changed. This one is repository only, so again we need to guess the query, so you will get the latest SQL query for this corresponding schema. So just scroll back to the previous one. See, until unless you just click a guess, you won't get it. Now I got this. So you may just all about what I deleted. The schema's data type DB type is, since I used it here component, right? Use existing component I use it, but I haven't mentioned what exactly. So that is why it is showing up that the schema's DB type not correct for this component. The parameter component list is empty, but is required. So when you click on this, you should give that component, like the connection component should be there. Okay, I just revert back. Then so if you want to just look into that code and all, you can just go to the code. So it will show up. Since we did one or two settings again and again, right? So if you are getting this is just it's a warning only. It's not about the error and all. If you find like any errors in this field, then before running, I just always prefer to just go to the code after writing your, I mean, after designing your retail job. Just go to the code and just look for like the red kind of lines and pictorial, I mean, the representation of a red over here. So we didn't find any errors here. So it's ready to the run the job. So this is simply only the warning what we previously got. So no need to worry about that until unless it is an error. So even if you don't want to see this, just I ask you you can close this simply and then reopen. Workspace even you can close. Excuse me. So your job is ready to run. Just check out. You will be having total 200 records. That okay. It's internal error SSL connection error is there. So no need to warning. It is just no need to worry about that. And here again, the tail log row it is very powerful. Yesterday also I said regarding this. So normally just show you how you want to pass that output. It will be very much pretty useful at the time of debugging, at the time of building a new kind of logic. Sometimes you have been asked to build a few kind of logics on few fields. Then on that time, before you doesn't have access to load into that particular tables until unless it moves to the production. Then on that time, or else if you just want to re-verify it, whether it is working fine or not, then on those cases you just go with the T-log row. And I always ask the peoples to use T-log row. It is a debugging because when even if you are right, when you are doing a plus b, c equal to a plus b, even for the small kind of things, first we just it's even for the simple case statements also you should prefer using T-log row, so that what will happen, it will be pretty very much easier for you to know what exactly it is you are expecting. You just pull the job and then pull it back to the T-log row, then check out, yeah, this is what I'm getting, let me just check out. You just trim out a few fields, then apply few filter condition, and then case by case you can go ahead. So it is a very powerful thing. So so if you want to print the headers, you can create print over there. In front of each output row. This is fields. Everything will be showed up in a vertical fashion. Schema name. I mean, how you want to look how it has to get display on your console. Those are the things here. You just need to click, or else you can keep it away. Or else if you want to show up what the data everything in the table format, you can just click on this table view. So what will happen, it just show you the table. See, So you want to use like I want to just load the data into my DB, then just go with the DB, right? And I want to use the same database, but the table name might be different. So in that cases, what I need to do, can I go with table schema or only connection? So it should be a connection, right? So just drag this down, drag down. So automatically everything will be there. Since I didn't use the schema on this, so I won't get anything. So I need to just map these two. There are two ways. Either I can give it directly, so it is straightforward. So we need some component over there to join these two, and then I want few kind of manipulations on my uh, fields as well. I need to use some sort of uh, cleansing operation on my source data. So what I need to do is I need some sort of component which just give you a chance to build your expressions of the logic, business logics, and all. And also you want to just gives a sort of you want to create your own kind of fields. You need to add up few fields and all. So if I give directly, will it happen? It shouldn't. I mean, I won't get like I can't able to add the columns or that I do add, but the problem is like it won't be get populated. So what are the information I'm retrieving from the source? Those information only will go to the target. So I need some sort of expression editor or something, so that I need some sort of space where I can write my the business logic, where I can build my business logic, where I can uh, add up a new kind of fields and all, and change a few items on the existing fields. Those time what I can do is we'll be having Talend has provided us an expression kind of editor. We follow up with the Informatica, we go with, we'll be having expression transformation. In the same way we'll be having here the tmap component. So it is used to join the uh, uh, it will be perform like an expression, as well as you can write a few expression, and then you can do some sort of business logic. So that you can build out there, you can add a few fields, and you can add it like you can transform that input to multiple kind of uh, components, output components. And you can join much more thing is like you can join one or more flows or here. So there is like the lookup transformation also. It just work as a lookup, as we basically as a background of ETL and BI, we came across those sort of things at a lookups, right? When we just looking up the data, whether it is available or not. We mainly called in SQL format like the joining. So all those things we can do with this tmap transformation, tmap component. Just look on this. So in spite of giving that to this target system, I can use one transformation called a tmap. Then it is only a row kind of connectivity. It does not have any iteration, does not have a component. Okay, these things. So just you have to give that, give an output name. So do you want to get the schema of the target component? Since we already created, like we already connected directly from team MySQL input to the team MySQL output directly. So on that time, what happened is like all the fields, whatever there in from source system, it get transferred, it get copied to the target. So when I just connect it, it's just asking me, do you want me to just copy it? It's not giving a chances like do you want to take a chance to just drag and drop your required fields, or already there are few fields are available in the target MySQL output. Do you want us to copy or not? It's just asking us. If you want, you can. Okay, just say yes. That is why it has shown like the error. Since when there is a schema kind of issues and some other warnings are there, it's not a error. It's only a warning. If you even click a no, what will happen? It won't you won't get all these fields. Let me show you. Just deleted this component. Just go with the tmap. So I said no. So what it will do? It just ask, hey man, you just add yourself. So that is why it is showing here. Tmap the schema up to has no column defined. Please check it. Oh, then it does not have. What we can do is like just control and a, so just copied all these fields, just drag this down, drag top, so you can propagate the changes. Yes. So I want the names of actors. We just adding with some C. So default thing is there. So you need to insert that. Since we does not have, let's run it. Just look into the settings of this. I'm just going to run it straightforward. Only the thing is I want it. Just look on the settings first. So I kept action on table is default. So action on data is inside. So there is a no table. So it should return an error stating there is a no table such actor underscore trg. So fields went out, right? So just check out the error itself. SQL adapter does not exist. So it will show you warning. And again, it show you warning, but it won't it won't kill the job. So what I want is like I want to just return an error on this, die on error, just die this. I don't want to even execute when you just when there is an error in this particular. I mean, when you are running the job, right? When you come up with an error, then just die that. So run it again. So it just shows us. So if you just look into this again, it will give you proper clear description what exactly is happening. So exception in the component DB output 1 SQL extraction, then batch update exception, the table does not exist, and then blah 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 blah. All these are just the Java kind of errors. Even for a small error errors also, it just show you a lot of things over here. SQL error, Java. So don't bother about these plenty of lines and all. What just actually matters to us is first two digits. I mean, first two lines. You need to check. So after that, what you need to do is you just have to look here. Excuse me. Even if you are unable to trace out that particular error, then you can simply just go to that particular code number in the line by checking that. So that will come in the likes. So all these error caused by these three items are made. One, two. Then this is caused by SQL extraction, SQL syntax error exception table does not exist. So again, drop and create. Will it work? It should not, because it will drop only if it exists. Otherwise, it won't, right? So drop table if exist and then create. If exist, then only it will drop. Otherwise, just it will simply create. So we just go with the create table. So total 13 records there. Actor underscore trg. So just check out. So just look into this. So you got all these fields over there, which is having stats with you. So total 13 records we got. So we got 13. Today, so far we discussed about creating a database connection and how we can just retrieve the schema of a tables, what it we should not use, and what sort of things and all. And again, even we can go with the yeah. Let me just go with the connection of these as well. So if we just look into this, so you have the connection on job, okay. Then again use an existing connection. So there is no need of writing like showing up what kind of connection, like all the fields and all. There is no need of simply you just create the TV connection one, then here also just use this connection. So that in, so again, so again I'm just running it. It should go with again 13 more records, so total will get 26. Different. Okay, yeah, got it. So we just given T Mongo like DB connections, right? We established a connection, but what happened is we insert the data, but here is the thing is like we are not committing it. So it also, because within that, right, we are not committed. So even if you just go to the DB, if you give a commit, then also it's not working. So then close the connection, or else you can just use some T close connection. Got it, right? This is how it will work. So today we just discussed pretty much scenarios like establishing a connection, I mean creating a database metadata under that connectivity and all. And then we came across how to create a DB connection, and also we go on like what is the uses of using DB connection there in spite of giving it a component by component connection. And also we just check it out how we are just writing like how we are creating a table schema as well, and how we are retrieving the fields from there, and how, and also we just check out like how we can give it to connection, how we can inspire without using that uh, MySQL connection in the table by table, component by component. We are just using at the single time that particular we are opening the connection, and then after opening the connection we are using those connections in the across the components. And also we just check out like the commit intervals. So few, I mean these cases we check it, and also we just write down a small expression like the filter condition in the T map, and also we just the T map, right? We can even write a small date function also. Right. So, date it is. So here, so I want the current date. So I just wanted to drop the table and then recreate, since it does not have that column in the one target system. So just create a select star from target. So I just wanted to drop that particular table and then recreate it, since I added one more field over there. It should be there. It should come up like the created it. So just look into that. The server date, whatever it is, just get pasted. And also we came across like the multiple scenarios, like the filter condition we can give over there. So here we can give the filter condition, and then we can you can even pass out what are the required fields you want. Out of 10 or 15 fields, you want only 2 or 3 fields, you can pass over there. Then you can write your own functions here. Depends upon your business logic and all, you can go ahead and you can build over there. And we just come up like what will if we came up three kind of scenarios, like giving connection details directly in the components, and copying, I mean, already predefined connections, metadata connections, we use it, and then we executed the jobs. And we have created a table schema so that we can retrieve the schema of all the tables, uh, uh, instead of writing field names one by one, so which will be a hectic us. And we executed, then we get the schema, and then we transform that to the other table, or the same schema. If you want to transform to the different schema, only the thing is you need to change the database details here. That's it. Then we have checked on how we are creating a table. Like if you put a default and then if you execute it, if the table exists, then only the data get loaded. And if the job is executing but you are not getting any kind of result in the system, like in your table, then there will be a small option there, like a die on error, which is by default it will just disabled. So we enabled it and we dropped that particular table and then we executed. And out of 200 source records, we wanted only pretty like only 12 or 13 records. So I mean few records we need the actors whose name starts with a, the simple Java component we can use here in the expression and filter condition, so that only few records passed are there. And again we added one more field, so we wanted the date as well, so we kept it. And we even check it out like the commit of that particular one. So what happened, again we will get 13 more. So the time is something like 8 5, then total should get. Okay, drop and create, right? So just drop the table and then execute it. That is why we are getting only 13 records even if you execute twice. So any questions, guys? Tarun and
No, Hamid.
Subhas?
Good.
Yeah, yeah. I
No,
mean,
not
pretty
from my
clear,
side.
but yeah, okay, good. So you guys are clear with, I mean, what we have discussed today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So I mean, we discussed it like the connections, creations, and then the few kind of scenarios. I said like as you said, I think you are using Tarun, you are using this DB connections only, right?
Uh, yeah, I actually checked out today my project. So there are some metadata jobs directly. So we have few like what is it? Metadata is maintained like schemas, columns, and tables, like multiple layers. So they
Uh-huh.
have some jobs. I look, but I searched them. Like I didn't find them in any project. But also they are using from property file like
Okay.
Oracle input,
Mm-hmm.
those direct components. They're also using
Okay.
those.
Acha, acha. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No
Yeah,
issues.
and for logging, yeah, like I told, it's just a T-Java row, and we're just using system.print.
Acha, acha. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, even you, if you want to just look into this, I mean, how you are just, how many records are
Yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
can just the Java and then you can print there how many records has been processed.
yeah. For everything, for logging, we're just using the system.out.
Okay, this one, right?
Yeah, yeah, system.out.println. Yeah,
Print stream something. So what it will
yeah,
do, it will print out all that console
yeah, yeah,
information,
yeah.
so that will be easy for us to debug. Even you can just pass or
Yeah, and sometimes if they believe like it is going to be a bigger message, I think they're limiting it to like first few 10 lines or something like that.
yes,
Or
yes.
final message.
Just we got up like the same case, right? The
Yeah,
error
yeah,
rate
yeah, yeah,
is
yeah. Same thing. Yeah, yeah.
very
Like
basic.
what we saw. Yeah.
If you
So
just
instead of
create
printing
a
out
single,
everything, yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, got it, got it. So yeah, so tomorrow we can discuss a few more things, like other DBs, and also even we can go ahead with the joining of a file and then table, so that we can just get up slowly with the further round.
yeah, sure.
As of now, it's fine, right?
Yeah, fine.
Because just covering each and every component along with the basic things, what exactly we just came across and what we will face a few issues and all. So that's
Sure,
good.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, man. Shall we close the session for the day? Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
sure. Thanks, guys. Bye.